dirty about Ben Boulware, except that beard he's got. That's pretty nasty.
As far as just the new era of targeting calls and how they're teaching tackling, is that difficult for really any of these guys who might have been taught differently when they were?
Well, I think it's a good rule because there's some of those things that just shouldn't be in the game. I mean, and I think most of the time they get it right. There was a couple. I was watching the game the other night. There was one that was just obvious. There was another one that I thought was good, and then there was one that I'm like, I thought it was the worst call I've ever seen. I don't know how you would even coach the guy to do it any better than what he did. It's not. I don't really have a problem with the flag. I think it's just like the one with Ben up there. I'm like, what did y'all even see? You know, he hit him with his hands. He hit him in the shoulder. It was just a violent hit. You know, it's a violent game. I mean, this is a violent game of explosive power, and but I think they're going to err on the side of caution and throw the flag, which is fine. But we got to get it right with the replay. And I've seen a couple of the replay that I don't understand. But for the most part, I think they've gotten it right across the country, and I think it's a good rule because, again, there's some of those hits that they just shouldn't be a part of the game. It's just that simple. So.
How close is he to maybe getting a few more opportunities?
He's battling every day. You just got to be ready. You never know. You never know when your number's going to get called. Like I said, he's got a pretty good player in front of him. Wayne only had 9 carries the other night, 100 and something yards. So we got a lot of good players that deserve opportunity to play, and he just got to be ready and keep working and take advantage of his opportunities.
Coach Scott talked yesterday about challenging this team to define itself and not lingering in the past at all with last year. What have you seen from this team as you're halfway through the season in terms of defining themselves?
Yeah, they're not. This team they're not focused on last year. They're focused on. I mean, they've learned from last year, but they're focused on and I think they're applying lessons from last year, which is what you try to do as a person. You try to get better each and every year. But this is the 2016 team. This is a 2016 journey, and they are where they wanted to be. They're not satisfied. They know that we've got a lot of areas that we can improve upon, and that's what our focus is. I love this team. I mean, they're easy to coach, and they have been from day one. I mean, from day one when we got back and started over back in January. I mean, they have been locked in and a very competitive group. And I think right now our team's we're starting to develop some guys in a little bit more depth. Guys are starting to get a little more confidence, which bodes well for us the second half of the season. But they're just dialed in, trying to. They know this team, I think, has a great understanding of what it takes, and the leadership has been tremendous. And I think that they truly have bought into what we got to do on a daily basis. I mean, we just got to have a great day today and just try to find a way to win this game. And that's the approach that they've taken, and that's why we've been consistent.
Dabo Morgan, 6 games in, what's the appraisal of his season so far?
Played awful at Boston. The worst game he's played probably ever, maybe even since Pee Wee. I was very disappointed in how he played up there, but he's a heck of a football player. We don't have a more talented guy than Frew, and we don't have a more committed guy or a guy that cares more. So he'll respond. He'll probably play his best game this week, but he did not play well up there. Did a poor job with his technique, and overset, got beat inside, and then slow to set, got beat over the top. So he had a couple of 3 or 4 bad plays that he did a lot of good things too. He's physical in the run game. He's everything you want. I mean, he really is. You got to understand he's a first-time starter. He started 6 games in his career here, and going to be a great player, man. But again, what I care about is how guys respond, and nobody has more pride in their performance than Jake. That I know. So, hey, coach him, point out his mistakes. Let's go get better. And I don't really have to worry about him because I know he will. He'll probably come back and have his best game of the year this week, because that's just who he is. That's his DNA. But did not play well the other night. But he's done a good job for us over the course of the season. That's for sure.
Your staff always talks about how you challenge them to get better as well. What are some areas that they've learned from last year to this year?
Lots of areas. I mean, that's what we do in the off season. We study ourselves. We study all of our quality control, what went good, what went bad, what were the disasters, and then we try to get better from there. I mean, it's whether it's individually, maybe how we're coaching things, teaching things, drills, techniques, those type of stuff that we apply to our practices. Sometimes it's just, certain guys going and studying with somebody else to get better, sharpen up a little bit. So all those guys, and me too, we're all the same. I mean, we're all just trying to improve each and every year. But specifically, you'd have to ask them that. But I love our staff, and because that's the mentality that we have. We don't just say, well, it worked last year, let's do it this year. That's not the mentality that we have. Some things, that's good, but we always question it. All right, well, this is what we do. Is it still the right way, the best way, or do we need to change? And we've got a staff that's not afraid to change when we need to, but we're very committed and believe in what we do.
Coach, coming off your best game of the season, as you said, how do you challenge the team, the staff, everybody to be better, to continue to get that standard to rise this week?
Just every day, and how you talk to them. That's what we do. Every day try to challenge them in a different way. I think that's the art of coaching. Is continuing to get a group of people to buy into what you're doing and to not be satisfied. To continue to strive to get better. So you point out the areas that you need to improve. I think you articulate what the goal of the day is, and then hold everybody accountable to that, and keep everybody's eyes on the main thing. So just locked in and focused on what we're trying to do in the here and now.
What's the key to rattling a quarterback who you pointed out is very efficient and protects the football?
Well, number one, hopefully our crowd will show up and create the type of atmosphere that we're blessed to have here at Death Valley. But you gotta win up front. You got to create a new line of scrimmage. You got to defeat blocks. You got to disrupt everything. You can't let a guy you got a guy that's fourth in the country in completion percentage and no interceptions. He's probably been pretty comfortable back there. So you gotta make him uncomfortable, and so that goes right to your. There's certain things schematically you can do as far as bringing pressure and things like that. But at the end of the day, you gotta dominate the guy in front of you, and without having to bring extra people. Let's create pressure and make the quarterback uncomfortable, make him have to throw off different launch points, make him have to move, disrupt timing in the passing game with the receivers. So there's a lot of things that you try to do. Trying to do it and getting it done is two different things. And to this point, not many people have been able to do that to this group.
Coach, we're about a month removed from when Deshaun kind of came out and apologized, whether he needed to or not, for having some negative energy. Have you noticed the last few weeks, has he been playing with having more fun and maybe playing freer of any outside distractions, do you think?
He's been great. Yeah, I didn't think he was bad then. I just think he was frustrated because we had 12 drops in 2 games and 4 touchdowns. I think that was the stem, and I think he let that affect him and got frustrated with it. But he's been great all year. He missed a few throws here and there. He's a human being in a new season. Just he's not perfect, but he's no question these last few games, really since the fourth quarter of the Troy game, we've just kind of taken off and gotten going. And so I've been really pleased with how he's playing. Had an excellent night up there the other night, and he's just you know, he's a guy he's going to have some moments where he makes a bad play or something, but he just keeps coming. You know, he's such a great winner. And you look at the Louisville game, that's a perfect example. You know, we have the bad interception down there in the red zone. Then he fumbles the ball in the run. You know, but he just keeps coming back. But then you need a score with 30 seconds, and whew, here you go. You need an 85-yard drive to go win the game, and whew, here you go. So he's just having a heck of a year. He's a great football player. He's leading our guys. He's putting everything he's got into every game plan as far as preparation. He has complete ownership of what we're doing out there. He understands when things break down and why. But he's hitting his stride, and he's having a lot of fun doing it.
How's Mike's hamstring?
He's good. He's getting better. You know, we'll see him out there today, and you know, just kind of taking it easy with him here for these first couple of days. But I don't think it's very serious.
Everybody expected Clemson to be good this year, but from your perspective, what's it like to look at the polls and see 4 of their ACC teams in the top 17?
I think it's great, and I don't know who all is in there. Who all they got in there? Us and
Virginia Tech, Florida State. Virginia Tech,
yeah, and I got North Carolina in there still too. So there's 5 in my poll because I think they're a pretty good football team as well. I just think it's what I've been saying for the last few years. This league is a tough league. It's a really tough league. I think it's played out in the out-of-conference games. It's played out in the big bowl games. It's played out in the playoff and the national championship appearances over the last few years. And it's played out in the NFL draft. It's played out in the big college awards. You know, you look at the recipients of those awards. So, I just think, and then the coaches in this league, it's a tremendous group of coaches. In fact, when I was at the meetings back in the spring, I mean, I'm looking around that room. I mean, there's a lot of great football coaches. So, you know, I don't think anybody's excited when they look at their schedule and see they're playing an ACC team. And I think that, you know, everybody within our conference understands that and has understood that. But it's a great league. There's no question about it. A bunch of good football. You better bring it every single week. I really believe anybody can beat anybody within this league.
Is this the best this league has been, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, other people have to, you know, answer that. I mean, we've got 14 teams. It's most teams we've ever had. But it's a hard league. I mean, back in the day, would they have 8 teams? 8 teams? Now you got 14, almost twice the size. There's a lot of good teams in this league, a lot of good teams. And you look at what Coach Rick's doing down there at Miami. I think Broncos going to get them going up there at Virginia. You know, Justin, man, I've always had great respect for Justin at V-Tech now. He's a heck of a football coach, and he's got them heading in the right direction as well. Dino's a great football coach. He'll get them going up there at Syracuse. So Petrino and what he's done at Louisville. So it's a tough league, man. It really is. We got a bunch of good players and good coaches, and it's a great academic league as well. I think it's separates itself from the pack when you put the whole package together.
Anybody got anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All right.